What's up, everybody? Welcome to Dare to Win episode 13. My name is Finn Hodgins. I'm your host, and I am back. So I took about 2 weeks off, and that is because I was relocating and moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. Obviously, it was a really busy time just moving into my new apartment and still trying to keep up with everything I have going on with groups and my other work. So I wanted to take some time off the podcast, also to reevaluate how my first 12 episodes went. I was posting for about 2 months consistently, which was really exciting for me. I got about 200 downloads, which again, thank you guys to my early episodes and riding with me as I grow. I got a lot of great feedback, and what I learned and what I kind of decided was that I'm gonna start posting 2 episodes a week, but on the shorter, more concise side. So about 10 to 15 minute long episodes, again, just being really concise and going straight to the point of whatever I wanna talk about. And I'm still gonna work really hard to get guests on, but I wanna make sure those guests are really, really high quality guests. And in those episodes, they'll obviously be a little longer, but I still wanna keep them on the shorter side, definitely less than 40 minutes, just because I think most people, they don't wanna listen to a podcast for more than 40 minutes, and I don't wanna be posting super long episodes. So, as you guys can see watching on YouTube, I'm in a new spot. I relocated to North Carolina, and I'm super excited about the move. I think it's gonna be really cool to be in a more urban area. And this apartment was actually the first thing I've purchased all year. I've been doing this thing this year where I'm not buying anything for 1 whole year that's like consumer-esque. The reason is I want to be really smart with my money. So literally, I'm only spending money on things besides the essentials. So obviously there's food, gas, and that's pretty much it. But I'm only spending money on things that will make me money. So investing in myself, my company, stuff like that. So this apartment, I view it as an investment in myself. It's a quiet space, and it has all these amenities that can really accelerate my work and my growth in my work. And the most important thing is it's buying me back a lot of time. So I don't need to join a gym. I don't even need to like go to beach because there's like a lake in my backyard. So it's super cool, super convenient. And I just wanted to start the episode kind of with that because I think we're obviously going into a funny time with the economy. And I think a lot of us are really deep in like this consumer state. We're spending lots and lots of money on frankly stupid things. Like we're getting sold to every day, so you can't really blame yourself. And most of us have only been adults sort of in this era of consumerism. But I will say it's probably good to start reducing or maybe building new habits around consumerism because you are wasting your money. One thing I've learned from this sort of consumer fast is that you really don't need a lot of stuff. Like you would be shocked at how little you need to feel really good. And to be honest, living on the more minimal side feels really good. There's definitely a few things I do miss. Like I wish I had a little bit of higher quality clothes. My body's sort of changed shape a little bit, so I'll probably buy like some pants and break the rules soon. But basically what I'm trying to say is like you would be surprised at how little you need, and living kind of minimally is nice. And also making money for yourself, the amount of cash I now have available that I used to not have for investing in myself or getting a much nicer apartment so that I can like choose all these amenities that are again an investment that can accelerate my growth. Like it really is amazing. And just by cutting all consumerism for a year, and for me it's been 6 months already, like you will be shocked at how much extra money you have and how much money you save. So that was a little intro tangent since I didn't post a podcast for 2 weeks. But what I really want to talk about in this episode is building trust with yourself. So I can build it off of what I just talked about. And basically having trust in yourself is probably the single most important thing you need to succeed. Like if you don't trust yourself, number one, you're gonna have a really hard time trusting others, and you're gonna have a lot of issues because if you don't believe you can solve problems, that means you're leaving a lot of trust in other people's hands, and that probably is gonna cause a lot of anxiety. Like it will provide tons and tons of security if you have full trust in yourself, knowing that you can do whatever you need to do. And how you build trust with yourself is by doing the things that you say you're gonna do. So on January 1st this year, I told myself I'm not gonna buy anything for a whole year. Obviously, that's a very, very, very challenging goal But what that's doing, because I'm sticking to it, is it's giving me a lot of trust in myself in terms of being a consumer, or in terms of like how I'm going to spend my money. So now I trust myself that I'm going to invest wisely. By sticking to a very hard goal, I trust myself that I'm going to be able to stick with other hard goals. That's exactly why I train for an Ironman and do a lot of other crazy fitness stuff. For example, when I trained for an Ironman, I had to show up to extremely difficult training sessions pretty much every day of the week, sometimes twice a day. And by knocking those sessions down every day and getting like robotic with it, I built an extreme level of trust with myself, knowing that if it's on my schedule or if it's on my list, I'm gonna get it done and I'm gonna find a way. When I started training for an Ironman, I had never swam or biked in my life for endurance. Obviously, I've like jumped in lakes and gone swimming with my friends, but I've never done like laps. I probably ran like 6 or 7 times my senior year of high school, which was 4 years before I trained for this Ironman. So I basically had never run for a distance either. And I said, I'm gonna do an Ironman and be in Ironman shape in 9 months. So imagine the amount of trust I had to have had in myself before that, knowing that I would go to every training session and do it. If I didn't have trust in myself, there's no way I would have committed to doing something so crazy. And I built that trust by, before training for an Ironman, doing all this fitness and knocking down those goals. So I built momentum and I kept showing up. And this is very important with anything you do in your life. If you don't set goals and complete goals, and I'm not talking about goals like I'm gonna make $10 million in the next 10 years. That's a huge goal. I'm talking about micro goals here. If you can set micro goals and show up every day and knock those goals down, you are going to build a lot of trust in yourself. This builds a lot of confidence in yourself. Without confidence in yourself, you really can't do anything. You have to trust yourself if you're gonna lead a team. You have to trust yourself if you're gonna do anything entrepreneurial, because at the end of the day, you have to take complete ownership for everything that happens in your life. This is something that's really, really important, and it's something that a lot of these big people talk about all the time. One of my favorites is Jocko. I'm sure you guys all know Jocko. I believe he wrote a book on taking complete ownership, but basically the concept behind complete ownership is that you are responsible for everything that happens in your life. So if you have 3 employees and one of those employees fails a task, it's not the employee's fault, it's your fault. And what this does by taking complete ownership is it should give you a layer of security that if you trust yourself and if you know you're capable, it is very comforting knowing that the future is in your hands. If you own everything that happens around you in your life, then you have the paintbrush and the world is your canvas. You can control what happens. Sure, you may have to take ownership for a lot of the failures, but that also means you can dictate the success. And if you hold yourself to that level of responsibility, that if an employee makes a mistake, it's your fault, then you'll learn how to make employees not make mistakes. You'll learn how to avoid these things that you thought were out of your hands, but really you can control. That is going to make everything better in your life, in your business, etc. And taking complete ownership doesn't just have to do with entrepreneurial stuff. I know Tim Grover, a very famous coach who coached Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and other high-level athletes, he talks about them taking complete ownership all the time. Husbands, wives, big brothers, like if you consider yourself a leader, you need to take complete ownership in order to be successful. Otherwise, you're gonna feel like you have no control. You're gonna feel like the world is completely out of your hands and you have no power. How you take complete ownership is literally, it starts with building trust with yourself. Because circling back to what I said at the beginning, how can you take complete ownership if you don't trust yourself? If you don't trust yourself to win or to lead, then you can't take complete ownership, right? You're gonna fail. So the first step is to build that extreme level of confidence and trust in yourself by doing things that you say you're gonna do. Then you need to have the balls, basically, and the responsibility to take ownership for everything that happens in your life around you, okay? And if you can do that, if you can take ownership for everything that happens around you, I guarantee you, you're gonna start to see things change in your life. You're gonna start to realize that you are in control of your destiny, and that's gonna feel good because obviously everyone wants to do really well. So you're gonna be able to paint the picture of your life and lead yourself to do really well. And sure, it's gonna suck when you take ownership and something around you happens that frankly sucks. Maybe there's a big failure, and it's way easier to say, oh, it was, Jimmy's fault over there because he didn't do this, than it is to say it was my fault. But if you say it was my fault, you're gonna learn how to solve that problem a lot quicker, okay? You're not gonna immediately result to, oh, it was Jimmy's fault, and then it's just gonna happen again, right? You're gonna learn. That, Tony Robbins always says, the number one way people learn is through pain. And when you blame yourself, that pain causes a reaction that's gonna lead to success. You never wanna feel that pain again. So that is why you need to take complete ownership. And a lot of times, if you have people under you and you consider yourself a leader, it is your fault. You're not a leader if you're not taking responsibility for the stuff that people are following you do, okay? So that is my first quick episode of the day. I highly recommend everyone picks up the book by Jocko. I believe it's called Complete Ownership. And there's another book that ties into this. It's called Make Your Bed. And basically the concept behind that is every great success starts from making your bed. Every great day starts by making your bed. If you make your bed every day, you set the tone for the day and you build that trust with yourself. If you set a goal that's physical and you're an entrepreneur, well, doing that physical goal every day, like going to the gym and crushing your hard workout, it actually sets the tone for your entrepreneurship because you're building that trust with yourself of knowing if you say something, you're gonna do something. So it's all one big cycle, guys, building trust with yourself, establishing that self-confidence, and then being able to take complete ownership and hold yourself responsible for everything that happens around you, because then you will have the comfort of knowing you are responsible for your income. You are responsible for your success. Why would you want someone else to be responsible for your success? No one cares about you as much as you care about yourself. That's just common sense. So give yourself that power. Give yourself the power of knowing that you control your destiny, and then build yourself, arm yourself with the skills you need to have the confidence to go execute. Thank you for listening to this episode of Dare to Win. I will catch you guys in the next one.